Hi guys, welcome back to my run, Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Still at the beginning, so no big deal. Just waiting for it to load. There we go.
Credit cards can be 22%, near 30% if you're late. Car and truck loans, 10 to 15%. Call New Day. Pay off your high-rate credit cards and car loans with the lower-rate New Day 100 VA cash-out loan. You can save $500 a month, $6,000 a year.
Call 1-888-928-2094.
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM.
What the hell's going on?
With the 2024 election quickly approaching, President Biden is fast-tracking another major student loan bailout. He's paying young people to vote. What? That was the quiet part out loud. That's just the truth. Biden wiped out another $1.2 billion in student loans.
Oh shit, let's reload an earlier save. That's the only thing I can do here, man. No exit here. This is a previous fucking bug they said they squashed too. Bullshit. Let's see. This is an old one too from early access. Where the fuck is my here it is. Okay.
What if, I mean, these are truly essential workers. What if you're an electrician?
Upper decks.
What if you're someone who didn't go to a 4-year or grad school, college, didn't do any of that, and now you're going to take your hard-earned, already taxed money and give it to these people, among whom are some of the richest.
Thank God for autosave.
Who are new citizens, who immigrated the right way, and they're new Americans, and they've been living their life in another country and chasing the American dream, and now they're paying for pretty much after somebody else, and that's kind of maybe what they escaped.
It's a good time to pack a ball.
And I think that it's obvious to the American people this is inherently unfair.
Right, and keep in mind that the cost of college is skyrocketing as the value of the degree is plummeting. And yet we have a president that continues hammering down people's throats that college is the only option. He refuses to acknowledge the benefit of trade schools, the value of those labor and skilled labor industries. And then he curries votes and tries to curry favor by extinguishing debt without any sensical idea of the concept that
okay, I remember this.
means you're pushing it up or down.
The guy guts me one up here.
That the reason that tuition is so bloated
right here, boom.
is covering the pension thanks to decisions of people like Gray Davis in California, who ruined it for the rest of us for decades. To have a president buy into it is tragic.
Well, and when we have the spotlight put on some of those universities with all the anti-Semitic and anti-Israel rallies, like we've got to taste a little bit of what's going on in some of those campuses, and that complicates the matter too.
Always on just because you say the debt's gone doesn't wipe out the actual debt. If you look at the economic equation, it's not as if magically the money isn't owed, the contracts weren't signed. Biden doesn't care about the Constitution, the Supreme Court, or contract law. And it doesn't create the jobs. Okay, great, you don't have to pay your student loans, but where are the jobs that you need to actually survive and pay your bills? This is a promise, right? It's buy and vote. Plain and simple, he wants young people to be stupid and believe that that's how they should vote for him or why.
But why is Biden in trouble with young people?
Yeah, he's in trouble with young people because they can't afford a home, they can't afford a job, they have to feed their parents.
Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck and more armed militants have destroyed several more heretics on the way here.
Marijuana, we've heard Kamala say, the first time the visitors no one to be locked up for marijuana. Another place.
You're gonna have to see to believe it because it's well camouflaged as well.
150,000 borrowers for getting emails. This is Department of Education. DNC. They're going to be contacting people saying, if you're not enrolled, get enrolled. This is like a DNC operation.
Young girl,
and now they have
injured
ceased
in a high
altogether.
school game against
Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only boxcars from the lower bay
is a ticking
are
time
one-way
bomb.
heretical gibberish. That the madmen have already reached the officers suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this was an orderly coup.
Is she?
Playing with her confidence of the floor and getting all up in that grass as if she doesn't have allergies. Yeah.
There's only one thing
Nice.
worse than the warp and
Were you worried about it would be
and
too
that's the
much?
warp itself crawling all over our desks. You're all still
So we don't have to work. Empower. What's next?
If you're looking for a nutritional supplement that really
First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum
now
are
this
secure.
exceptional product contains 70
And I have the means to invade
it's
the
precisely
center.
formulated with the
Edward, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship being assailed by the war could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole improvised weapons.
4535.
I am embarrassed to say this,
I
but
tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his
and yet
movements
anytime I
is that he
noticed
arrived on
I thought I needed
transitional
to
deck
shower, I
18.
was clean, or there was something wrong with me. And then my gynecologist told me about Lumi. It's a whole body deodorant for kids. Described as
Blast it.
equals odor
Master
anywhere
of
and
Whispers,
everywhere.
find Edelthrad
I tried it and I
immediately.
noticed the difference
Seneschal,
right
locate Tras and the
everywhere.
Sister
You
of
won't
Battle.
realize the
Both
body
of you
odor
remain
just
at my
living
side.
until you try
Arch
Lumi
militant
and it's
with me.
gone. Go to
I must go to my
lumibio.com
study.
to build your
And
customized
it
bundle
appears we
today.
might encounter short
Have you seen this?
Right. What's the dictionary one?
Transitional deck 18 is at the heart of the distraction. The goal is to bring Edelthrad back. I could use some support.
We just have different
After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the house as the esteemed arch-militant,
Stream direct
and
TV
taking into
without a satellite
consideration
dish.
Edelthrad's psychic powers.
Big day on Capitol Hill. Joe's brother Jim Biden with the lawmakers as part of the ongoing
Then it's
impeachment
settled.
inquiry.
Find Edelthrad and bring him here. In whatever state you find him. This elevator leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chamber in the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you to understand.
It allows our therapy dog program to continue the need.
Are you ready for head date? It is a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear. Certainly. Lady Theodora would be devastated if she were to
You
lose
still
one
owe a
of her
balance on this.
precious
I can give you
heirs.
2 weeks.
We'll set it up.
But that
The Rowan will get a job, cheap place to live.
There it is.
True story. They said there was a job. There's a question as Ivy League coaches never get. Director George Clooney. 9 seconds under the course record. Olympic year this year. Olympic year? I didn't realize. The dogs. Boys, that boat. Sorry, guy. I'll lay you down, coach. History. Show what I already know. The boys in the boat. PG-13.
President Biden sent your brother Jim on Capitol Hill today. What will the people learn about Biden's business empire with all the twists and turns for you? President Biden collecting campaign cash in California. As many Democrats are anxious for a
careful,
Plan B.
careful. Be gentle with our
Landmark
guest.
ruling in Alabama to
She has an
force frozen
important
embryos
mission to
are
complete
unborn
during our
children.
visit to the
What are
Warren
the
chamber,
implications
and for
IVF?
that, I need
And
her
Russia takes
breathing.
another American prisoner. This time,
Oh, you are
it's a
back with the
ballerina
same.
sensitive treason.
Don't-
Congressman Michael
How
Waltz sums up on it.
perceptive of you.
I'm John Robert Sanders on
I'll
today. I'm
help
joined
you
by
with the
Shahas.
next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the
There's
option
new
to share
uproar
it
over the
voluntarily,
safety concerns
or
for
I will
girls facing
squeeze it
trans
out of
athletes
you
in sports.
myself.
Now, this is a girls' game in Massachusetts
We
that
are
you're
in
watching
the
here. That's
anteroom
okay.
of
Now,
the
watch as the trans
This
athlete
voidship
grabs
most
the ball away from a
hallowed.
girl
There,
with seemingly
beyond
total
those
ease.
gates, lies
2
the
girls
relic
left
that
the
gives
game injured
Theodora
by that
all
trans
of her
athlete
power.
in just
The
the first
sacred
half.
wand
So
of
the coach
trade.
forfeited the game.
Only one obstacle remains on my
Collegiate
path
Charter
to
School,
obtaining
which
it.
is the
The
school
gates
that
of the
forfeited the
chamber are
game,
guarded
they
by the
explained the
sentinel.
coach's move in a
An
revealing
ancient
statement saying
device, That will
The bench
only
was
open the
already
door to a
depleted going into the
true
game, with a 12-player roster
I
having
expected
4
to do this
players
part
unable to
myself,
play.
but
So when the
never
coach
mind.
saw 3 more go down in the first half,
will offer your
leaving him
blood
with just
to the
5
Sentinel.
players, he made the call to
On
end
the
the game
contrary,
early.
the
And once
Lord's
the third
blessing
was
has
returned,
raised me
the
too
remaining
much above
5
your
expressed
kind.
concern to him about continuing
The
to
Sentinel
play.
refused to submit
Those
to
girls
me.
feared getting injured
But you
and not
can
being
have.
able to compete in the
After all,
playoffs. So
isn't
in an
that
effort
what
to maintain
family
safety for
is
his
for?
team, he decided to forfeit.
Wretched.
Now, Fox News
What
Digital
do
received
you
this statement
know
from
about
KIPP,
wretched?
Massachusetts regarding the game.
Dishonest
That's her school.
Are you
KIPP,
to buy a
Massachusetts is
grain
the
of her
only child
indulgence
rose
with
up
your
free to
blind
recently
loyalty?
work for themselves
Oh,
and
I
their
know
team.
this delusion.
To do this,
But thanks
we
to
work to
gods,
create
it no
just
longer has
and
power over
identity-affirming
me.
schools for our students
Humanity
and prioritize
can rot. I
maintaining
no longer
student and
serve
staff
mortal
safety
kind.
above everything else. We also support state laws and regulations which provide students with the right to
Once
participate
my
in
work
all
is done,
school
I'll make that
extracurricular
pompous
activities and
wench
sports
von
based on
Valencia's
their
watch as
gender,
I sacrifice
identity,
her
or
entire
expression.
dynasty and commit
We
their
condemn
fate to the
harmful comments
gods.
being made
And
online
you
toward members of our
will be the
community and will continue
instrument
to let
by
the
which
vision,
I will
mission, and
accomplish
principles of our
this
organization
righteous act.
guide our actions. So, Kaylee, this X's and O's, as we've just laid out. The postscript to this is that then KIPP Academy canceled their future games against other schools because of death threats they said they were receiving against their transgender players. So here you have 2 schools that have canceled multiple games. All of those girls that have lost opportunities for their playoffs, their opportunities, their futures, because of a decision made by this school that favors a non-biological girl.
You raise such an important point. I mean, many of these young women train their whole lives up until high school for these moments. They want to go to college and be on women's basketball teams, and you're ruining the opportunity, the hard work, the athleticism, the time, the commitment they put into this in addition to
High
not
levels
for
of
school. I would
caustic
just have
humours.
quickly
The
Gallup found
subject is
69% of respondents said athletes should compete on teams that correspond to biological
Request
sex. That's a
accepted.
huge number.
Initiated.
That's up from 62% in 2021. So it seems like the vast majority of the American public says this isn't it.
Parents, I'm curious, how are we expected to reconcile that statement by KIPP Academy that says they prioritize safety of their students
still
while
another way.
also allowing everyone to play whatever they want in their gender-affirming rules?
Chicken
It's
shit.
not reconcilable
Fucking
in a
booted.
especially like this.
I just wonder, so I don't reconcile it. It's going to sit in a place in my heart as a mom of an athlete that I will pray about.
None shall
Because I can't
stand in
reconcile
my
it. I
way.
can't understand how anybody in leadership at a school could look at one side and say, literally, I know you're injured, you're lying on the floor, but we won. We won because we put people on the court that can beat you up. Like, I don't know a place to put that yet. What I can tell you is, with them canceling, they're now not helping the transgender community. Because by canceling their schedule, and unfortunate if they are being threatened. But whatever the reason is, those young kids also
Thank
are
you.
playing. So if the goal was to help that protected community, KIPP Academy of Massachusetts has failed again. So I can't reconcile it because I can't make it make sense.
Is everyone was
Yeah.
Yeah, and ultimately in that statement, you notice there was nothing said about the injured girls. And that's, I think, a key thing to remember. But I also think that there's, when we look at the parents and the other adults who are having to deal with
Communication
this,
protocols
the fact
breached.
is that it's not just because
Signal
you're not playing
latency
the games.
assessment
If you
unavailable.
are injured,
Unable to
and
establish
you
two-way
want to get in
connection.
college and you need a sports scholarship,
Distance from the
it means
current
you're also maybe
location to
not
the
going
nearest
to
arsenal.
college. So I think
Initiating
that this is
situational
an extreme
calculations.
dynamic, and in the normal world, if you injured someone on a
Temporary
court for adults or
obnubilation
children,
following
you
acute
were
stress.
removed. Right?
Mobile
So if
unit
you're
of the
going to
Warren
have
Sentinel
somebody who's a
standing
biological
by.
male, if you're going to injure someone, you're the one that's out, not the individuals who can injure all the
Mobile
ones
unit
going
of the
out
Warren
there.
Sentinel, designed as a personal escort of the child of the house, and a means of communicating with the road trader's
beating up
subjects.
high school
Mobile
girls
unit
physically
standing
on
by.
a court. It's unacceptable.
Middle and
Enough.
upper decks.
Parents across
Assuming
America,
the
their
probability of
girls
safe
have coached
placement
pro
in
sports,
areas
have
of
played sports
concentration
all the
of
way through
armed
college.
units.
It's time to draw the
Calculating.
line. If there is
To prevent
anyone, any
unauthorized
sport,
units from
or
breaching the
a
warrant
man,
chamber,
a male, anyone who is
preemptive
past
tuning must
puberty
be
or not,
initiated.
that is played on
The
a
mobile
girls'
units
team,
will start
pull
executing the
your
received
girls.
order
If we don't
immediately
stop
after
this
the safety of the
insanity,
warrant is
some girl
secured.
will end up in a wheelchair, some girl may end up with some form of TBI. There will be worse injuries. This won't go away. But no, America needs to stop this BS. Call it for what it is. I don't care about their statements. I can't reconcile it because it shouldn't be reconciled.
We're already seeing that. I mean, spend some time with NCAA swimmer Riley Gates.
Riley, I had Riley on my show. I mean, these
They've been hard.
There we go.
So much more to come. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm William Devane. And you know, these days we take a lot for granted. Used to be just having wood for the fire and a little food for your table was all you needed to feel secure. Not anymore. Now rising debt is chopping away at the value of our dollar, like this. And that troubles me, which is why I buy gold as often as I can. I buy my gold from Roslyn Capital because I trust them. Roslyn has the best customer service around.
Whatever are you doing in the
With all the money
warrant?
printed by shaky government,
How did you-
protecting my purchasing power against the
Throne
rising threat of
preserve me. What is the
inflation
meaning
is
of
more
this?
critical now than ever. Protect what you've worked hard for. Buy gold from Roslyn Capital.
Call now to get your free gold, silver, and IRA kits. For a limited time, Roslyn is offering up to $15,000 in free gold to qualifying new customers. Call 800-630-8900.
Holy God.
That's
I presume he is the one
800-630-8900.
responsible for the mutiny.
We're putting our foot down to
And
keep our feet up.
I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the
We
Lord
worked
Captain
overtime.
as
Now
Lady
it's tea
Theodora.
time.
It's the President's Day sale. It's time to save more and relax more.
Saints blood!
Lazy boy.
And it is small wonder that the heretics are so well organized. I thought his order to seal the passages between decks was his attempt to stop the attackers from spreading to other levels. But now I see the real reason. It was to stop the enforcers from intervening.
Get started today at
At least you are
Angie.com.
alive and now safe, mistress. Alas, I doubt we can afford to look for a compartment to sit
Yes,
out this
the
disaster.
time has come for a fresh approach to dog food.
You're in a bad way.
Every day, more
I
dog
can treat
people
you.
are deciding it's
I have a
time
medication.
to quit the kibble and feed their
And
dogs fresh
for the love of
food
the
from the
throne.
farmer's
Now is
dog.
not a good time to be walking around the
Made
decks
by
without
vets
means of
and delivered
self-defense.
right to your door. Precisely portioned for your dog's needs. It's an idea whose time has come.
A lot of people ask me, Abby, what are you doing these days? Well, I have a new farm I'm working. Too much. I'm going strong. I'm doing the things I love to do, and now I can do it on my own schedule. But you know what helps me the most, everybody? Balance of nature. It's such a simple concept, and it works beautifully. You want to make a huge change in your life? Try balance of nature.
Get 35% off and $10 off any additional sets as a preferred customer by using discount code BOO.
CIDP disrupts.
CIDP derails.
Let's be honest.
CIDP sucks.
But move into CIDP.
Doesn't have to.
When you sign up at shiningthroughCIDP.com, you find inspiration and real patient stories.
Helpful tips, reliable information, and more.
CIDP.
It's got 2 already on them, so I'm keeping this.
Just got a little easier. Sign up at shiningthroughCIDP.com.
Be heard, be hopeful, be you.
We are the spearhead of the Imperium.
At SimpliSafe, our security system never stops protecting.
Let
Only
me
our
help.
HD cameras and
That is a
advanced sensors
noticeable
are
improvement.
powered by Fast Protect technology.
Now you're prepared for the
exclusively
trials
from
ahead.
SimpliSafe with faster police response. There's
The
no
lower
safe
decks are
like
teeming with
SimpliSafe.
heretics instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance.
Thousands of new arrivals.
The situation on the middle decks is
The
much
Real
worse.
Shop
All
now,
those
get
strike teams have
20% off
already
at
been
therereal.com.
dispatched there.
All terms apply.
All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was
Congrats,
lost.
Carol. Your youngest
So,
finally popped the question.
apart from scattered
Now,
broadcasts,
you're
we
really
have
gonna have to get
no
those new
information
ventures.
to go on.
After all, you need a smile that matches the moment. So
But
this
that
might be
is
a
not
good
the
time
worst
to
of it.
mention that Aspen Dental
All
can
these
create
jolts and
natural
shaking are
looking
most
dentures in no
alarming.
time, just for you.
These
And that comes with
are
$0
signs that the
down,
navigator and the
0%
master
interest.
helmsman are having
Get paid in
difficulty
full
translating the ship out of the
Help
warp
the
and
mothers
into
and
real
take their
space.
best. It's one more way.
I fear that
Aspen
they may
Dental
have already
is in
lost
your
control.
corner.
We must reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation.
President Biden's brother, James
If we can
Biden,
manage
is
that,
still answering
some of all this
questions in the
vessel may
House's
yet
impeachment
survive.
inquiry against the president. We won't hear from him today as we expect, but we will get a transcript at some
You
point in the
sent
near
me a Vox
future.
message.
Meanwhile, Republicans are
Specifically,
looking to
a
press
Vox
James
cast
Biden
on
about
the
his older
officer's
brother's
frequency,
alleged
which
involvement
I
in the
had the
Biden
good
family's
fortune to
business
receive.
affairs. He says Joe had no involvement
You mean to say
whatsoever.
you did no
Meanwhile, the
such
State
thing?
Department's set to hold a briefing in a few minutes.
Warren
President
sensible?
Biden set to speak in Culver City, California at
Lord Captain
3:45
barely ever
p.m.
ventures
Eastern
down to the
Time.
chamber,
Keep it
and
right
I was
here
at her
on the
side
Fox
only
News
once or
channel
twice
for
when
all
she
the
did.
news. Thanks everyone.
I
American
did not see
reports.
anything of the sort.
The fence just
The
stops.
Warren
It
chamber
turns
is an
into
ancient and rather
a
sacred
fence,
mechanism
or
that the
some
ship's
spots,
tech priests
there's
treat with
nothing there
the
at all.
utmost reverence.
This problem's been going
I
on for
assume that
months here.
whatever it is that you did, you must have activated
in
certain
Texas, and it's
processes
based on
and
the way
caused
the
the
state
sentinel
runs
to
its
awaken.
border walls. And here is a
President Biden should
Why did none of it happen when Lady Theodora did the same?
President Biden is set to speak later this afternoon in the Los Angeles area. But just 200 miles to the south, massive groups of migrants continue to make their way across what is the
Which
new
one?
epicenter of
The last one I
border
received was
crisis.
about the navigator
John
Santa,
Roberts,
and
welcome
that
to
was
Wednesday.
a good while ago.
Good to see you, John. I'm Aisha Hasni in
In
for
any
Sandra
case,
Smith
let
today,
us
and this
hope
is
that the
American
Lord Captain is
Report.
well,
So
and
day after
safely
day,
in
our
charge
Fox
of the
flight
ship's
team is
defense.
capturing wild images
In the
on the
meantime,
southern
we
border.
must do
Large
all we
groups
can
of
to prevent
migrants
the
from
ship from
all
veering
around
off
the
course.
world crossing into California now, with many of them saying, John, that they are here for
Absolutely.
work, not asylum.
Let
Those
us proceed.
groups, with some crossing through the dangerous Rocky Mountainside to get into the Golden State, are adding to the tally of the 7 million plus migrant apprehensions and 1.8 million gotaways since President Biden took office.
Well, we've got complete coverage right now with Congressman Darrell Issa. His Southern California district's been hit hard by migrants in recent weeks.
The Lord
He's going to
Captain
join
is
us live
calling
from
her
the
crew
border
to
on
battle,
why he believes
which
this is
means
all now
the Vox
a
networks are
national
set up for
security
broadcast
crisis.
The first
transmission,
our team
not
of
message
reporters heavily
exchange.
drawn on the startling number of Chinese nationals
While the
making
rogue
their way
trader
across,
inspires
and
proper
Bill
resolve
Malucci,
to
who
fight in
starts
her
us off live
subjects,
in
you
Hacumba,
and I
California.
shall prove that
Bill,
her
we saw
trust
what
in
it was
us
like there
is well
yesterday. What's the
deserved.
scene today?
Onward.
Another busy day out here today, John, and we just learned from Border Patrol, which officially reported that this San Diego sector has had over 140,000 illegal crossings just since October 1st. Of that, more than 20,000 have been Chinese nationals, and we just had more a few moments ago. We'll get right to this video our team shot just up the road from where I'm standing a few moments ago. This is another group that crossed illegally, dozens from all around the world, including China, Ecuador, and Colombia. When we were out there were no Border Patrol agents on scene yet, and they actually thought we were Border Patrol, were asking us for help. There was an NGO that showed up, gave them some firewood. They were starting fires there because it is very cold and very chilly out here. But this is the sort of thing we've been seeing out here in San Diego sector. We caught up with some of the Chinese.
They said they fixed that too.
Translator app.
Last friendly fire, my asshole.
With one of them, asked them,
He's not even on that same angle.
they're here.
The fuck? The fuck is this game on?
My purposes.
Flew from Turkey.
Turkey? Airplane.
Oh,
Did you
who
land
didn't stand
in
a chance?
Tijuana, Mexico?
Sit back.
Such is the will of
Yes. Yes. Do you want a job? Do you want to work?
the
是的，
fever.
我想要工作。Yes.
So you hear it there. They flew into Turkey first, then they flew into Mexico via Tijuana, then they walked across the border. They're not here to seek asylum, at least that gentleman wasn't. He said he's here for economic reasons, and this just goes to show a lot of people have been commenting that in a lot of our footage, these people don't appear to have dirty clothes or that they've been walking for a long time. That's because a lot of them haven't. They're literally flying in to different countries, then flying into Mexico, and then simply strolling across the border, which is very open here in Sanctuary State, California. There's no razor wire or National Guard or state troopers down here. They just walk in, they wait for Border Patrol to pick them up, and many of them have been telling us they're planning to go to sanctuary cities all around the country. We hear a lot of Chicago, Denver, and Boston, but that was the first time we've been able to
I missed him. Shit.
with one of these Chinese nationals via the app telling us exactly how they got here and why they're here. Send it back to you.
It really is remarkable, Bill, what you learn from these folks when you talk to them directly. But here's the question. If he's here for a job, that would not qualify as asylum, which means that he would be open to removal. But how do you send him back to China?
That's a great question. We really don't have any repatriation agreements with China right now, so he admitted on camera he's here to work. He doesn't fear the Chinese government. He's not being persecuted, so he said he's not filing an asylum claim. Well, just coming here for economic reasons, that doesn't qualify you for asylum. So yes, he should be technically removable. But China doesn't take back their citizens, and once they consider they cross the U.S. border, they really don't want to take them back. You guys are going to have Congressman Issa on here in a few moments. He could perhaps answer some questions about what the U.S. government would like to do about that moving forward. But the State Department will have to figure something out with these countries who refuse to take their citizens back.
Meantime, he and others like him are probably here to stay. Bill Malugin for us in Vancouver. Bill, thank you.
Yep.
Our team coverage continues now on national security concerns at the border from all of these Chinese migrants coming in. Hillary Vaughn is live on Capitol Hill now. And Hillary, what are lawmakers saying about this?
Aisha, they're warning Americans. They say that this surge of migrants pouring in from our adversary, China, threatens Americans' safety and their livelihoods.
If the Chinese government reaches its long arm through its police stations that we've allowed here in the United States to tap these people on the shoulder and tell them to steal, to attack, to crash the gates at our military bases, which they're currently doing, they call them non-traditional collectors, then they have to do it or they hold their families back in China liable.
They're actually letting the Chinese nationals come here to the United States and take the jobs right out from under our noses. I mean, they are not our friends. They are our opponents. They are competitors. They are our enemies.
And that is exactly why some of the Chinese are buying those plane tickets and booking their trip to cross the U.S. border illegally because they're coming for a job. Griff Jenkins was on the ground. He talked to one man who said he's here because he wants the money.
Why did you come? Take money. Money? Yeah. For job? There's no job in China. Maybe, I don't know.
And he's not the only one coming. When you look at the numbers, they will blow your mind. Between Saturday and Monday, CBP saw over 450 Chinese nationals cross the border illegally in San Diego. That's more in those 3 days than the number of Chinese migrants we saw enter in all of 2021. Now, the White House was asked about this by Fox Business's Edward Lawrence last week. They said they take this issue very seriously, but that really this is a problem for Congress. They said the House should have passed and moved on their bipartisan border agreement, and that's where they left it. Aisha?
A lot of concerns also about what kind of jobs they're doing. Hillary Vaughn, live on Capitol Hill. Thank you.
Let's bring in California Republican Congressman Darrell Issa. He represents the district of what appears to be the new epicenter of border crossings. Congressman, you're down there. You're on the border for a first-hand look. Bill's been showing it to us for the last few days. What do you see? What are your impressions?
What we see is a increase logarithmically in the amount of people coming here. We've always been an area that gets a lot of foreigners, Romanians, Russians, and so on. But as was reported, the 400 and growing Chinese are a particular threat. One of the interesting things is the Chinese told us that they came through Turkey to Mexico. Now, both those countries require visas to come in. So Mexico violated their own visa law by allowing them to come in and then present themselves at our border, in both cases without visa.
So how does that happen? Is it the cartels that are facilitating all of this? Basically overrunning the Mexican government?
Well, contrary to what President Biden has said, it's about policy.
Would it be too much to ask that you
turn
phrase
back
your
these Chinese here based on the fact that they had already arrived in Mexico. Mexico wrongfully allowed them in, and Mexico's allowing them in because they know they're not going to stay in Mexico. Again, under President Trump, remain in Mexico was a policy that would have prevented this. These people would never have come here under the previous administration. Not a change in law, a change in policies by this administration. And that's what our speaker is pushing back on President Biden. He's saying, go back to the policies. We're happy to give you new laws, but we're not going to give you laws when, in fact, you don't enforce them and your policies are encouraging what we're having, which is an invasion from a great many countries. One of the people that I interviewed came from Colombia. He said he is a communist leader, but things are bad there, so he's coming here to join his family in agriculture. That's certainly the kind of thing that this president should be stopping instead of his policies making happen in my district.
You mentioned the dramatic increase in the number of Chinese nationals who've been coming across. Let's put it up on the screen. 2021, it was 450 people for the entire year. Last year it was 24,314, and so far this year, we're not even halfway through, 18,750. And Bill Maluchin showed us an extraordinary moment yesterday in which he had a line of people who were waiting to be picked up by the Border Patrol and asked them where they were all from. Watch this.
Around me.
Where are you from? India. China. Ma'am, where are you from? China. China.
And you are von Valencia.
China.
One of Lady
Okay,
Theodora's
so that
heirs.
brings up two issues.
Well,
And let me just
then,
hand them both to you. First of all, there's a national security component to this because if those folks are coming in from China, they can't really be fully vetted because there's no agreements with China on doing background checks on their people. Secondly, if you've got folks coming in from China, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, India, how do you remove them if they're not eligible for asylum?
Well, this is exactly a problem. By not pushing them back and keeping them in Mexico, people from Syria and other countries of that sort absolutely cannot be vetted, and yet they're being released. We talked to the Border Patrol. I had a briefing earlier this morning, and the Border Patrol is releasing these people even if they're not asking based on credible fear. So one of the things that's really killing us is when people say they're just coming in for a job illegally, they're still being let loose, and they won't be given a date anywhere close to 10 years from now. So realistically, what they have is a 10-year get out of visa free. And that's the policy of this president. It's brought us in over 8 million additional people without vetting in most, if not all cases, and without any chance of removing them under this administration.
Those who are rocking this boat, that's where it's at.
What's the work?
They went after the
Is there a specific job that
our
these folks are
guide
looking
through
for?
the warp. Other whispers
You know,
called
many of these
me
people
to the
didn't know what
engineering.
job. Some of them had families, some didn't. But they heard that there would be
I heard
jobs
the
and that
cry.
they would do better than they did in their home
You don't mean the
countries.
engine said
And candidly, in time, that may be true. But again, this parole process is very vague. Many of these people will go up
And the
public
voices
assistance.
wail,
You see it in these
held in
major cities
countless
where they're sitting for long periods of
playing
time
out
in
his soul among the
family and
hundreds that
housing.
are now
That's
joining
a
the
problem.
war.
It's costing
The
America.
shriek from the
But most
navigator's
importantly,
sanctum was
it's
louder than
costing
the rest.
the legal
And
migrants
it's
who
better that
are
we
frustrated.
saved the navigator than some
Congressman
leave a
Darrell
puller
Issa,
from a
great state of
cooling
California. Good to be with you.
module
Thank you, sir.
or cook from the middle decks.
Welcome to my district.
John, we're also following this. James Biden making an appearance on Capitol Hill today to take questions behind the closed doors. Did Republicans get the answers they wanted to continue their push to impeach President Biden? We'll talk to Sean Duffy and Jessica Tarlow next.
Meanwhile, the president just can't shake those age concerns that are dogging his campaign. Will Democrats
But we're not just going to stand here and take it, are
because
we?
of that? Is there
The
a plan
state of
B?
things in
He's
here
declined,
suggests there's
and
a
there's no question
navigator
about
around.
it.
Maybe
We have a
one
nation
who's
to
crippled
run.
or at
We
death's
have a
door,
nation that has
but
to
still
survive.
kicking.
And his best
And
chance
since
of
our skin hasn't
negotiating
peeled off
now
our
is
faces
no
just
clue
yet,
what's
he
happening.
said I must be closed. At worst, it's a little roughed up.
Sometimes the
So
lows
what
of
are we
bipolar
mocking
depression
around
feel
for?
darkest before
Let's go
dawn.
protect
They smoke a
the
lot of weed.
mutant
Nobody gives a
race
fuck,
still
actually.
alive.
Crazy.
Caplyta is proven to deliver significant relief across bipolar depression. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Caplyta treats both bipolar 1 and 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Call your doctor about sudden changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants may increase these risks. Alcohol dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Report fever, confusion, stiff, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be life-threatening or permanent. These are all serious side effects.
Caplyta can help you let in the light. Ask your doctor about Caplyta. Find savings and support at caplyta.com.
Right? Diabetes. There's no slowing down. Each day is a unique blend of people to see and things to do. That's why you choose Concern to help manage blood sugar response. Uniquely designed with carb stay. Concern. Bring on the day.
The 1878 to 1921 Morgan Silver Dollar, a true American classic and one of the most iconic silver dollar coins in history. It has been over 100 years since the last Morgan Silver Dollar coin was struck for circulation, but now, for a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. Government Morgan dollars are being released to the public. That's right, you can own a full pound of 1878 to 1921 classic American Morgan Silver Dollar coins, all in very good collector condition with fully visible dates and mint marks, guaranteed. Call 1-800-333-2210 now to secure collector-grade U.S. Morgan silver dollars by the pound struck during the Wild West and the Gilded Age. Plus, receive a bonus American collector's pack
valued at over $25 free with every order. Call 1-800-333-2210 now to secure your 4-pound bag of mortgage silver dollar coins before they are gone. 1-800-333-2210. That's 1-800-333-2210.
What's my safe flight story? I'm a photographer, and when I'm driving, I see inspiration right through my glass. So when my windshield cracked, it had to be fixed right. I scheduled with Safe Flight Auto Glass. Their experts replaced my windshield and recalibrated my car's advanced safety system.
Suits my purposes.
Safe Flight is the one I trust. They focus on safety, so I can focus on this view. Safe Flight repairs and replace.
Well, you fucking suck with all the stats I pumped into you for the fucking gun, man. You missed 4 shots.
Beat up to me.
Fucking hell.
You're vulnerable again. It's gonna be a fire.
Okay, thanks.
There's a beekeeper, a special program outside the chain of command.
The system is corrupt.
I know what
It
is
corrupted
wrong.
you. Stolen millions from people who work hard all their lives.
We have laws for these things.
Until they fail, then you have me.
But of course.
With clubs, leagues, and courts in every
Anything
province
else?
and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship.
What?
From coast to coast to
Was that
coast.
you? Or
Learn to play, and you'll want to do it every day.
Oh, my ears are ringing.
Squash. Play inside the box.
Out of my way.
When it comes to drugs, how much freedom is too much for kids? Drugs are out there. Will my team feel free to say no around other kids? I didn't live drug-free when I was younger. Can I admit that to my kids? Drugs worry me, but how can I feel free to talk about it with my kids?
Questions about drugs and kids?
Oh,
Call or chat to get real-time support.
Well, we are getting our first bit of information coming out of that James Biden closed-door testimony happening on Capitol Hill right now. Fox News Digital has just obtained the opening statement from his transcribed interview with the House Oversight and Judiciary Committees. And in that statement, James Biden is defending his older brother, President Biden, telling lawmakers that the president has never had any involvement in his financial activities. That's what he just told them. Sean Duffy is a co-host on Fox Business Bottom Line. Jessica Tarlow is a co-host on The Five, a Fox News contributor and Democrat strategist. Welcome to both of you. Hi. John, I'll have you go first.
Jessica, good to have you on the show. It's not often.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Nice to see you. So let me read from Jim Biden's opening statement where he said, I have had a 50-year career in a variety of business ventures. Joe Biden has never had any involvement or any direct or indirect financial interest in those activities. None. Do you take that at face value, Jessica?
Yeah, you shouldn't go before a committee and tell lies, and I don't expect that James Biden is doing that. I don't know why Jim Kimmel and Jim Jordan thought that perhaps it was going to be Joe Biden's brother.
But the chamber thanked the Emperor is still sealed from the war.
This is the path that they've chosen to
we have a
take,
chance
and
of leaving this
honestly, I'm
place alive.
surprised that they have this high of a threshold for humiliation. Every witness that they have called has decimated their argument. From Devin Archer to Peter Schwerin to Marvin Young. And then we have the guy behind the Holy Grail document, the 1023, Alexander Smirnov, who's found that he had lied, right, about the charges, the $5 million that went to both of them. And then it gets even better. Not only did he lie, he was lying because the Russians were feeding him the disinformation. It's so embarrassing. I think Jamie Raskin was spot on when he said that this impeachment inquiry really ended yesterday when we found out that we have a Russian asset that was foundational to this impeachment inquiry. And Jim Comer and Jim Jordan should maybe try doing something for their constituents and let this go because it's going nowhere. Okay, let me push back on that a little bit, Jessica, with Sean here, because, whether this is legal or not, we don't know yet, of course. That's what the Oversight Committee is trying to get to, Sean. But even though James Biden is saying that my big brother had nothing to do with this, was never involved, Jamie Comer says that he has the receipts to prove that AmeriCorps wired a $200,000 loan into James and Sarah Biden's personal bank account, not a business account. And then on the very same day, James Biden wrote a $200,000 check from the same personal bank account to Joe Biden. So some of this stuff is not adding up, and whether it's legal or not, again, we don't know. But at what point, and this would be a question for Jess too, do Democrats have to say, this doesn't look right, this looks shady?
The ship can only begin the translation with the assistance of the master helper.
Joe Biden,
If
again,
he is
received $200,000 from
it
his
is
brother.
worth a
Joe
try.
Biden said, well, this is just a
We must
loan.
get to the bridge, but we will need
payment that they
support.
get, they say it's a loan.
Our only option is to fight our way to the officer's deck and join forces with Edelthrad and his people. I believe we will also find Lady Theodora. She must have heard the call to arms that the servos go relayed to our surname.
But here's my concern. Jessica was talking about, in this opening statement, lies. That why would Joe Biden lie to the American people? Why would he lie to the committee? It begs the question: why would Joe Biden lie to the American people when he said, "I had nothing to do with my son's business dealings. I actually know nothing about my son's business dealings." What we've now found out is Joe Biden was lying because he actually took phone calls with Hunter Biden and his business associates, went to dinners with his business associates. So Joe Biden knows all too well that Jim and Hunter Biden are making money off Joe Biden's name. Now, did he make money from it? We're going to hopefully find that out. I don't quite know yet. But this is also a point I want to make, is that the House is a legislative body. They're made to make laws, not to actually investigate crimes. They're doing that, but really what should happen here is the FBI should be looking at this. The DOJ should be looking at this. And because they become so partisan, they leave it up to the legislative body to try to find out information about these payments. And is Joe Biden... is he corrupt? Has he made money off of this? It belongs in the FBI.
To Sean's point, Jessica, just to push back a little bit on what you said that everybody who's testified before the committee has said Joe Biden didn't have any involvement in this. Tony Bobulinski testified before the committee and said the only reason any of these international business transactions took place, with tens of millions of dollars flowing directly to the Biden family, was because Joe Biden was in high office. The Biden family business was Joe Biden, period. What do you say?
Well, I say that the Senate themselves, including Senate Republicans, have not found Tony Bobulinski to be credible. So he gives a great cable news interview. I understand it's very compelling for people who want to believe that Joe Biden is actually a gaudy mob boss. But he doesn't have a ton of credibility. The people do have credibility, like Devin Archer, for instance, has completely blown a hole through that argument. He's talked about the phone calls. He's talked about the money. Peter Schwerin handled the books. And if you want to talk about loans, we'll see if there was documentation. I don't know a lot of family members who say, I'll lend you some money. We got to get a good interest rate on this. Make sure that I'm paid back in time. And he did pay him back almost immediately also. And it's like we're going to hear about Hunter Biden's loan for a car that he paid back. And what we're really coming down to is that we're going to be discussing the difference between blowing lines of cocaine or sawdust. This is a waste of the American people's time and our dollars to be doing this. And Republicans will be punished for it.
Jessica, rich brothers don't borrow money from poor brothers. Right? Jim Biden's rich, Joe Biden's poor. Why would they have this transaction? It makes no sense. Why would Joe Biden be borrowing money from we all heard from Tony Bobulinski. He was on this network. He was a credible guy. He's a guy with information from inside the Biden organization that says, listen, this is what was going on. He went to the FBI. The FBI refused to further investigate off of the information that Tony Bobulinski gave him. This whole thing weeks, and I hope that we get all the information. Joe Biden's clean. As an American, I want to know that. But I do think what's happening here inside the Biden administration.
We require
this
all
did
the
not
forces
all
we can
center
muster.
around Smirnov's testimony. I just want to make that point as well.
This is
Sean, Jessica, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you both.
Have a great day.
Yeah. It's as much an embarrassment for the FBI as well.
The hour
President
is
Biden
dark in
fundraising in
Dawnton.
California after
Should
laughing
bound
off a
with
question by
trust.
Fox on whether he's
The
in the Golden
faces of
State
friends
seeking
are
a
twisted by
Plan B
sneers of
candidate for
heresy.
2024.
The eyes of
It's a
comrades
question that
ignite,
keeps getting
but the
louder
arch
as
enemy's
Biden
hunger.
faces growing concerns
I will do what
about
I
his
must to
age.
halt
White House
the
correspondent
advance of
Peter
the dark
Doocy is live is
forces.
on the North Lawn this
But in
afternoon.
these
Have
dire
any of the
moments,
alleged
witness can
Plan B
be
candidates been
so
asked
I
about
must
this
know.
deal?
Why?
Yes, John. Gavin Newsom has been asked
Sister, I
about this,
beg
and
of you.
he said
Now
that
is
he
not
just hopes
the
to be
time for
invited to the second
interrogations.
Biden
The
inauguration.
ship is under attack by
President Biden
heretics.
himself
We've been
also
betrayed
hoping
by
to
our
turn
esteemed
his
master of
premise of a
whispers.
Plan B
Edelstrat the
into
heir
a
is
press
waiting
conference.
for our aid, and Lord Captain Theodore is expecting a report on our success. We are here to deal with the situation. So I suggest
Are you
we
ready?
all do just that.
Well, I'm looking at you. We're looking at you.
Talking to donors in California, President Biden said, by the way,
That
I know I'm only
answer
40
does you
years
credit.
old times
Only the
two,
truly
but,
righteous
you know,
would be
the
so
only thing I do
provoked by
know
the
is that I may
accusation
not
of heresy.
run as I used to, but I tell you
I
what,
cannot wait
I've
to
been around long
rain
enough to
righteous
know
fire
what's
down
going
upon
on.
each and
And even
every
though
heretic.
White House aides go to great lengths to prevent potential trip and falls, like mostly having the president use Air Force
Sister
One's
Roger
shorter
was a guest of
stairs,
the Lord
there
Captain.
are some slips like this
And
one,
that story
and
deserves its own
Democrats
time in
insist.
conversation.
The president is
But
ultimately
under
going to have
more
no
appropriate
problem
circumstances.
wooing young
Enough
voters.
idle chatter. I am
Joe
where
Biden
I
is
must
definitely the
be, and
strongest
that
candidate to
will
defeat Donald
suffice.
Trump. So I think the momentum is on our side because the American people will realize we need less chaos in Washington, D.C.
Through this door,
and more common sense.
I shall join
and we
you,
have a common
for
sense
it is
problem.
my duty to the God Emperor
And
to
something else that
destroy
they're
this
hoping to keep
heresy.
young people with Democrats.
We will
President
follow.
Biden later on this
For
afternoon.
now, we will hold up any heretics who might try to climb through the cracks to join the main assault. And we'll take a look at the generators while we're at it. Those villains made a mess. Oh, I wish we had a Texan
Okay,
with
so
us.
Nikki Haley is
But we'll
making
see what
her
we can do
final
with that
push
one.
in her home state, with
Good
just
to hear.
days to go now until
Sister?
South Carolina's primary.
Ready.
Former governor
May terror's
promising
light
not to quit
illuminate our
despite
path through
trailing
fire and
Donald Trump in
darkness.
polling. We're live from the campaign trail.
Plus this, a ruling on frozen embryos from Alabama's Supreme Court that could have sweeping implications for fertility treatments. Janet Bream is up next on the legal issues that patients undergoing IVF treatments could face.
Struggling with the highs and lows of bipolar 1? Ask about Vraylar. Because you are greater than your bipolar 1. And you can help take control of your symptoms with Vraylar. Some medicines only treat the lows or highs. Vraylar treats depressive, acute manic, and mixed episodes of bipolar 1 in adults. Proven full-spectrum relief for all bipolar 1 symptoms. And in Vraylar clinical studies, most saw no substantial impact on weight. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor about unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults. Report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may mean a life-threatening reaction, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, and high cholesterol may occur. Movement dysfunction and restlessness are common side effects. Sleepiness and stomach issues are also common. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. Ask about Vraylar and learn how AbbVie could help you save.
I'm a parking gate and I'm all out of whack. It's gonna take a lot more than a little ticket to get out of here. And if you have cut rate car insurance, this could leave you all bent out of shape.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
So be on state and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me. Someone! That's broken too, pal. When these business owners need cash fast, they turn to Biz2 Credit to fund what's next. From fitness studios to medical offices, every small business
Don't you dare to
we've
cross
got you
us.
covered.
Your emperor won't.
Whether you need new equipment, funds to expand, or need money to cover unforeseen business expenses, Biz2 Credit is the trusted partner for your small business funding needs. Scan the code on your screen now or go to biz2credit.com to apply. Biz2 Credit, funding what's next.
I'm former Major League pitcher Andy Pettitte. I teamed up with Tunnel to Towers after seeing their life-changing work with military and first responder families. Now we're expanding our mission to help veterans struggling for homelessness. We want to help them rebuild their lives not only by giving them a home, but by providing the services they need. 2 years ago, I was on Fox News commercials with Frank, and just really had a pull on my heart to just start, trying to help this foundation. And then it's just something, if you're in America, I just feel like, how can you not get behind it, you know? And he's just done a great job. It's just been awesome being involved with him. All the funds are going to everything that T2T is doing, you know, to the military families, whether it's building homes for them, the first responders. He's making a strong push to try to help the homeless around the country. And so I know they're buying hotels up in major cities, and they're going to be down in Houston on November 9th, opening up a new facility down there that we've done. And so just a lot of great things going on. So that's what all this money, I believe, is being raised today is going to, is just their ultimate goals. Public service people have always had a soft spot in my heart. My dad was a police officer at Baton Rouge. And then when I was with the Yankees, when I was playing, I tried to do stuff for our wounded warriors. And so it just always had a spot in my heart. And so, like I said, I can't believe I went so many years without even hearing or knowing about Tunnel to Towers Foundation. A couple of years ago, you know, I first saw it. And when I did, I immediately was like, I got to get involved in this. So it's just been a big success so far. Please join me in donating at t2t.org.
Suits my purposes.
Well, she's not going away. Nikki Haley carrying on her long shot campaign against Donald Trump. Just days now to go until the South Carolina primaries come fast. Haley is trailing Trump in her home state by nearly 30 points. Still, she's telling voters she is not dropping out. Let's go live to Alexandra Hoff in South Carolina now following the Haley campaign. Hi, Alex. Hi, AJ. Yeah, Haley's point is that only 3 states have voted so far in these primaries. And then after South Carolina's on Saturday, in the 10 days, there will be 21 additional states and territories to cast ballots as well. And she says that those voters deserve to have a voice too.
Chaos guides
We
me.
deal with elections. We let people's voices be heard. I wanted the people of South Carolina to be able to vote. I want the people of Michigan and all the Super Tuesday states to be able to vote. That's our right. We fight for that power of our voice. Anything else? The former governor, she's starting her first of 2 events within the hour, actually. She's keeping a busy schedule out here this week. She wants to prove at least competitive Saturday to keep this momentum going elsewhere. But the numbers here in South Carolina right now, they are on the former president's side. He arrived to the state briefly yesterday to take part in an exclusive town hall with Fox Ingram.
New Mexico's to lose your home state. Shouldn't happen anyway, and she's losing it bigly. I said bigly and bigly. We're going to really do a job.
Now, today the Haley campaign hit the former president for an FEC filing. Fox News did reports that shows his leadership PAC spent nearly $3 million on legal fees last month. That's on top of $50 million spent in donor money on legal bills last year. That's according to the New York Times. And the former president as well. He has endorsed his daughter-in-law Laura to co-chair the committee in South Carolina today. I should. Okay, Alex. South Carolina. Thanks, Alex.
All right, now to Alabama, where a new court decision has sparked a debate over the future of reproductive treatments. The state Supreme Court has ruled that frozen embryos created during fertility treatments are considered children under state law. It comes after several couples issued wrongful death cases after frozen embryos were accidentally destroyed in an IVF storage facility. So what impact could this have on patients seeking fertility treatments and IVF in that state? Let's bring in Shannon Breen, anchor of Fox News Sunday and our chief legal correspondent. So here's what the court decision said in part, quote, unborn children are children without exception based on developmental stage, physical location, or any other ancillary characteristics. In the past, frozen embryos were considered to be property. Now they're considered to be unborn children. So what are the implications for vitro fertilization?
Well, here in Alabama, all of the specialists are trying to figure out this is a relatively narrow decision because it's these couples. They sued under an 1872 state law in Alabama that says you can sue over the death of a minor child. And you talked about the language from the decision there. What the justice said, who wrote for the majority of the court, is
the unborn child's location doesn't matter. And they also cited back to something that was added to the state's constitution in 2018, which said this: it's the policy of this state to ensure the protection of the rights of unborn children. So, for pro-life folks out there, they're celebrating this. They're saying it recognizes that life at all its stages and forms is valuable. But you do have IVF clinics and doctors there in Alabama saying, what exactly does this mean for us now? How do we proceed with patient treatment? Some of them are pausing their treatment to try to figure it out. But what this did was give those 3 couples the right to sue. And so now that case will actually proceed on the merits.
So you're saying the embryo could be in New York City, and you could be in Alabama?
It sounds like this is just confined to Alabama because all of the parties and the locations involved were Alabama.
No. It sounds like what this means is, one good thing is that the couples really have to have their ducks in a row, have conversations about what they really want, and before they proceed with anything. That's always good. But what about couples who are now watching this and thinking, you know, we've had all our kids, we're good, we don't want to have any more. Do they have to continue keeping those embryos frozen until they pass away?
So in Alabama, that's going to be a question. But remember, the law in question here is one that gives parents the right to sue over the death of the child. So if the parents are the ones who are the custody, created those embryos, they've left them and now said, we're done with our family, we're not going to move forward, they're the only ones who have the right under this law to sue over those embryos. So if they made the decision to destroy those embryos, it doesn't sound like this ruling would give anybody else a chance to sue or get involved.
You never know. You know how the law works. You know, when our children were born, we did IVF. We had 5 embryos. All of them were implanted. 2 of them made it to full term. But since then, they've developed new techniques called STEEP, which is elective single FOD euploid embryo transfer, where they take all of the embryos that you've made, they test them to see which one is the most viable, and they implant a single one. That way it gives you the best chance of getting pregnant, and it avoids the idea of multiples. But that leaves a lot of embryos.
It does.
More so than in the past, because in the past you would transfer a lot of them. Now you transfer 1. So you might have made 10, you transfer 1, you got 9 left.
Yeah.
That presents a new dilemma.
It does, and because, again, the only one under this ruling who would have a right to sue would be the parents. Now, you could have a mom and dad split. Think of a couple that broke up and they've got these embryos. That's where this case could really be a problem for the IVF industry. But supporters of this decision, we're celebrating it. A lot of folks in the pro-life community say that by their estimation, hundreds of millions of embryos are destroyed every year. And so they think this will cause people to make more careful decisions.
And think about if a spouse passes away and an in-law gets involved and tries to fight for it. This is like an episode out of Virgin River. I don't know if you watched that, but it's out there.
Thank you. I learned something new every day.
Good show.
Thanks, Shannon. See you soon.
Okay, so the State Department is taking questions from reporters as controversy swirling over President Biden's former top envoy to Iran.
I rise to the
We've had
occasion.
people reporting that they've had blackouts that can last up to 3 to 5 days. It's very sad and difficult to see in a first world country.
A harm reduction group working to prevent drug users from overdosing in Philadelphia's open-air drug market. But is the city now saying they don't want their help? We'll speak with the executive director of Savage Sisters, why some are saying they are making the crisis worse.
The Fed is printing money like crazy. Debt is rising by the trillions. Is there a way to profit from this madness? What does
Where's my techies?
The more money you print, the less your dollars are worth, and that's why you want to own gold in your portfolio.
Dirty.
The Bank of America says $3,000 gold is entirely possible.
Silver still has the biggest run coming up.
Gold will outperform stocks.
Shit, techies is equal everywhere.
Experts agree. Massive money printing and rising debt could send gold and silver prices much higher. How high? Find out. All for the experts' money printing report and gold and silver decision guide. See just how high gold and silver prices could go.
I think gold and silver will today.
The report and guide are free. Also ask how you can get $15,000 in bonus gold or silver. Call your center now at 800-885-2000. 800-885-2000. 800-885-2000.
I rise to the occasion.
I figure I can
Excessive sheep.
Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste free with guaranteed potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with garlic.
It's only a matter of time until your check engine light comes on, or worse yet, your car needs repair.
That could mean a big surprise auto repair bill. Those repairs are more expensive than ever. A new engine could be over $5,000. A new transmission over $4,000. That's why it's so important you call CarShield today. CarShield is the #1 auto protection company in the country.
I like CarShield because they were reliable, they were affordable, and they were trustworthy. Well, I think everybody should have CarShield. Once your manufacturer's warranty is expired, there's just no big deal. You need repairs. CarShield will cover it.
Now it's your turn to get the peace of mind that comes with having CarShield, so you can worry
Save
less
it right
about
here.
repairs. Call or go online right now to get CarShield for yourself. Friendly, knowledgeable, money-saving representatives are available 24 hours a day. So if your car is 20 years old or newer, just tell us the make and model of your car.
Excellent.
To get an instant plan quote in a matter of minutes.
And it auto-saved, which is good. And we'll catch you guys next time, alright? Peace out.
Here's how CarShield works. When your car needs repair, you take it to your favorite mechanic.